The story begins with the sunlight shining down and birds soaring everywhere. Below is a young man who's looking up with his hands, truly a boring sight.
At the same moment, a weapon thrusts directly at the soldier's body, and the soldier quickly collapses to the ground.
Young Won is in a life and death battle. Why are you so careless?
Do you want to die or have you given up?
He quietly forced a laugh, sweating profusely.
On the spot,
Young Won replied, then.
In the next second, the sword in his hand was drawn,
And with just a single stroke, he successfully slaughtered the nearby soldiers.
My actions are my own.
Do you intend to handle your own matters first?
You're really difficult to get along with, Young Won pondered.
A leader like me roaming freely in the martial world had to join a mercenary band,
So he would be called a martial mercenary.
The titles I have obtained will probably only last until today. In the mercenary profession, to speak frankly,
If you want to leave this job, unless you no longer exist in this world,
once you've embarked on killing to survive, only death can free you. However, for me, today will be the day I leave this killing business and start a new life. Of course, for me, it's not a matter of simply risking my life. I can't just lose it so easily. Beside the cheeky face, he asked, after finishing the battlefield work, we probably need to go out for some drinks, right?
Young Won happily replied, all right, don't worry as long as you don't fall before me.
Of course, I won't die that easily. Let's fight together. If anything happens, you protect the rear for me. As soon as he finished speaking, he gave his all and ran forward,
directly charging into the encirclement of the guards.
A short while later,
only corpses remained on the ground, and Young Won gradually drew his sword.
Is it over? He thought. This final battle of mine seems a bit too simple. He turned his face to look in another direction.
Young Won was startled and shouted, "Huh, Jang-un, wake up, how could you have fallen? You promised me."
Looking at the blood-stained hand on his own, Young Won gently placed his body on the ground.
Jang-un weakly called out, "Soa, little Hoa."
Beside him, Young Won interrupted, "Jang-un, wake up." Looking at his blood-soaked hand, Young Won gently laid his body down.
"Jang-un, are you alright?"
So was Iroh Hoa asked nearby.
Young Won interrupted, "Jang-un, wake up."
Meanwhile, with his weak hands, he tried to take something out and offered it to him.
"This is.
Please take care of my daughter Soa, my little girl." He had just finished speaking, and gradually left the world. The scene made him feel a bit sorrowful. He rubbed his eyes with his hands. Immediately after, he built up the graze again. "This is the wine I promised to drink with you." Just when he was about to retire from the mercenary life and hide in the martial world, he had to take on the duty of caring for your loved ones, Jang-un.
"Is this my final mission?
What should I do now?" He quietly smiled. He decided to turn around and leave, saying, "Just go there first." Scene changes to another place. What struck him was the gloomy faces of the people around him. Thus, Young Won gradually walked through the crowd, heading forward.
Is this the place? He wondered.
Exactly, this is the house that the girl Soa is searching for and living in.
All right, hand over the agreed upon reward of 15 coins.
First, we should verify if it's correct. Hearing this, the boy hurriedly ran in
and gradually entered the door.
In an instant, he froze on the spot when he looked at the surrounding objects.
Not far away, another person was lying on the bed,
and the girl gradually turned her gaze back, asking, "Who is that person who just entered?" Hearing this, the boy happily ran over and replied, "Soa, it's me, Ayak.
Come visit me here."
"Ayak?" Next to Young Won, she interrupted, "Are you Soa Jang?" Confused for a moment, Soa replied, "Huh? Yes, who are these people, Ayak?"
Replied, "He told me to find someone named Soa, so I brought him from the village gate to here."
"He's looking for me. He's really come to find me." Facing the intense gaze of the girl, corner of Young Won's mouth subtly smiled as he thought, "This kid is truly interesting.
Here is your payment.
Please accept it and thank you, sir." After Ayak left the room,
Soa asked in confusion, "Why did you come here to find me?"
"I once fought alongside your father in the mercenary band.
Before he passed away, your father tasked me with finding someone."
"Was he your father's comrade?"
"What about my father?"
Hearing this, your eyes became serious.
After a while, he spoke about what had happened,
and the girl couldn't hold back her tearful sobs. "Dad, Dad, oh ho 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 ah. You've cried enough, haven't you?"
"I will ask one more question. Who's the real person?"
"Wipe away your tears." Suddenly, the girl's hand quickly raised high. Immediately, her body trembled reflexively, jumping back. This startled the girl on the spot. "You're quite ruthless, aren't you?"
"If that move had hit, I would have become a eunuch."
She continued to quickly retract her hand.
In the next second, her body flew away. She unleashed a powerful strike directly at his body.
He thought to himself, with such strong internal power, if hit directly, even a stone would shatter. Not stopping there, she quickly raised her foot and shouted loudly, "Die, you despicable scoundrel."
With a powerful strike, he was thrown back. Young Won's body was quickly affected by a force, and he was pushed back far away. He truly didn't think it was a joke.
Should he draw his sword?
If he did, the situation would immediately turn around.
Right after, his hand gradually drew the sword. Suddenly, an explosion from behind shook everything. When he tried to turn his gaze back,
A young boy appeared along with a mysterious figure. In the next moment, the mysterious figure rushed forward, delivering a strong punch to Yun Won's stomach. This left him unable to react in time, spewing fresh blood. He slowly collapsed to the ground.
Chilsel, your ultimate technique has failed.
Why take so much time just to deal with someone like this?
The mysterious person responded, don't speak anymore, Ozil.
Have you forgotten the consequences of speaking without thinking in front of me? How could you forget? I understand better than anyone.
Cackle. Images from memories can't be used during interrogation. How could you still gather information in reverse? That method is quite effective, but it's not simple.
You can clearly know what information the opponent possesses and what they don't. However, to implement that method requires a prerequisite.
What is it? A strong ability to endure without any fear.
Back to the present, at this moment a direct punch was forcefully struck into Yun Wong's stomach,
And without any fear, he spoke. Why? This made him grab your body, lifting you up in front of him to look. Now I will ask you again, who are you?
You're the one. Answer clearly and quickly. If you don't, you will endure multiplied pain.
Yun Won replied, as I said before, I am a teammate who has been through life and death with Jang Un, Soa's father. Jang Un entrusted me to take care of Soa before he passed away. Who are you people to dare impersonate Soa and act like this towards me?
Stop right now. We're the ones asking the questions.
How do you know I'm not Soa?
Yun Won answered, Soa knows what kind of person I am.
But you don't recognize me. This lie is truly not strong. Jang Un joined the mercenaries 2 years ago. During that time, none of his teammates visited this village. Since you have never been here, it's not right for Soa to know you. Facing the dagger pressed against his neck, the corner of Yun Wong's mouth subtly smiled as he thought.
Now I understand. You're also looking for Soa. Speak up.
Who are you and what do you know? Surely you have clues about where Soa is. If there were any clues, I wouldn't be here suffering like this. But since you're here, it seems it's over.
As soon as the words ended, the ropes around Yun Wong's body gradually loosened.
This scene made the two people in front of them astonished and drenched in sweat. In the next second, he rushed forward, with a punch being swung back to gain momentum. A punch was then delivered to the girl's body, and she coughed up fresh blood. Her body flew far away. Behind him, they had also set up an ambush. Then he turned his gaze back to look. A fist swung out, hitting his body hard,
causing dust and smoke to fill the air.
The girl, breathing weakly, tried to lift her eyes and thought silently.
This is my Zhongxu Dao Quan technique. Could he be a top master?
Oh, I see.
So he wasn't captured, but actually
let himself be caught to search for the information he has.
Yun Wong stepped forward and asked, I also have some unclear matters.
Can you help answer them?
In reality,
I don't intend to kill you.
Just confess, and I'll let you go.
Killing you won't be of any use.
Do you want to end your life?
She slightly smirked and forced a smile, continuing, you crazy person. Immediately after, her body transmitted a sensation
and directly spewed out fresh blood. Yun Won thought to himself, no longer alive, huh? I haven't even made a move yet. Could it be?
He quickly turned his gaze to look in another direction when he saw a kid sitting nearby, holding a hidden weapon that had just been launched. You're still alive, just as I didn't expect. How surprising that teammates wouldn't hesitate to kill each other like this in chaos. The martial world makes lives cheap, but such actions are truly excessive. I don't know who you are. If you interfere with us, you'll regret it in time. As soon as the words ceased, the boy slowly began to leave the world. This scene slapped him right in the face.
It made him feel a tinge of sadness as he recalled images from the past.
Jang Un, what is it in the end? Why did the assassins choose your daughter as a target?
To find Soa, I need more information and need to act faster.
I just remembered, I think there is someone I need to meet in Rakyan.
The screen changes to another place, inside an elegant residence encompassing the entire house.
Inside, a man is respectfully attending to the person sitting in front of him.
He spoke, asking, are all 3 people dead? Yes, Ozil, Yukul, and Chilsel are all dead.
So you were completely overpowered by Hen? The young man replied, that's right. It can be inferred that someone of masterful skill who came to find Soa is probably a tall, strong young man.
Additionally, we don't know anything else.
It seems he has used a secret technique. The old man interjected, but since the technique is too simple, it's hard to deduce the origin of his martial arts.
And what happened next?
When he left the village, all traces were erased, making it impossible to continue the pursuit. Sagi and your subordinates couldn't find him either, so this person is not an ordinary individual. This matter might be more complicated. No, not exactly. Actually, this is very good.
Continue to pursue the person. Then by itself, that person will seek Soa to help me.
In Rak Yang Chengrao to Hengrayari.
Inside resplendent, a maid hurriedly walks towards the bed.
She speaks, Madam Lu.
The person addressed as Madam Lu replies, Miss Ngoka Hi, what's the matter that you're in such a hurry? The girl answers, a guest came looking for you, the overseer. He told me to report to Madam Lu.
This person said that upon examining this object, the master will clearly understand what needs to be said. And that person also threatened that if rejected, the consequences would be unforeseeable. Hearing that, Madam Lu let out a long sigh. Then the scene transitions to another place.
Long time no see, Nam Hang.
Indeed, that's true.
Yung Won continued, why are you covering your beautiful face with such an ugly mask?
Or is it because of wrinkles?
The girl replies, I've been wearing it for so long that you've completely forgotten about it, haven't you?
Yung Won continued, then take it off. The girl replied, I refuse, I don't want to be beautiful in your eyes. Is that so? Hearing that makes me a bit sad. I just wanted to see Namhyang's beautiful face. Namhyang replies, really? You're being quite unreasonable. If I were younger, what would you do then? Yung Won replies, are you jealous? If you are, then you lose. You're still so gentle that it makes people despair like before. Oh heavens! So why have you come to find me? I haven't heard of any battle that could interest you. Yung Won replies, not like that. I have given up bloodshed and being a mercenary. What is this?
What do you mean? Have you retired from being a mercenary?
Yung Won continues, yes, that's right.
There's only one last mission.
Because of that matter, I came to this place. Stop that matter. You can't be a mercenary for life either, and I still haven't heard the reason why you came to find me.
All the matter is this, help me find a job.
A little later.
I don't want to continue staining my hands with blood, but I still need to make money.
The only thing I know is the mercenary profession, so there are no other suitable jobs. So you're shameless enough to come here just to ask for a job?
The last mission I just mentioned, I need urgent money to complete it.
The girl interjects, you're so shameless and troublesome. I beg you, this matter is very important to me. Turns face to look contemplative for a moment. The girl smiles slightly and replies, if you make that face, it's no different than deceit. Just in time, a bodyguard has just left, there's still a vacancy. With your abilities, he won't have any issues. I'll hire you. Hearing that, Yung Won couldn't contain himself and hugged the girl. Really? Thank you, Namhyang. Only you're so good.
He hurriedly pushed her away.
She explained, but there are two conditions, stay away from me.
Yung Won asked again, tell me, I'll do anything except die.
First, do not interfere with my maids.
All right, I agree.
So what's the other condition?
Actually, it's not a condition, but a mission I want to assign to you.
I need you to investigate a murder case.
A murder case? I'm a bodyguard, though.
Indeed, the bodyguards of the guild usually don't do this, but with you I can trust you to entrust this.
If you do well with this, extend your hand.
He interrupted the girl. All right, I'll take this case, but
you have to do me a favor. Advance me some money.
Okay.
I have an urgent matter to deal with.
You must be kidding. Yung Won continued, I received a notice that I'm terminally ill.
But the girl replied suddenly, what the heck? That's terrible.
No, I've just never seen you act like this before. I have to assume you're dealing with a major matter.
All right, I'll consider this as an advance payment for a skilled bodyguard. This amount should be sufficient. Once you've handled it, come back quickly.
My work is also very urgent.
Thank you so much, Madam Lu. Bodyguard Yung Won will return quickly. And so Yung Won gradually left, a free wanderer not bound by anything. The screen changes to another place. Inside the room, appears an old man quietly drinking tea and reading a book. Art so peaceful. Suddenly a sound echoes, making him curiously turn back to look.
Is there a Kang Shikao here?
Since parting ways in Szechuan, it's been 5 years, hasn't it?
You this name. On the other side, he secretly smiled at you. Seeing that, he angrily grabbed the book and shouted loudly. Then he threw the book far away. Yung Won, I'm very glad to see you again. The next moment, he rushed forward, throwing affectionate punches towards you. Facing the punch he was about to deliver,
You also began to block with your hand.
and as the book fell into your hand, you blocked his attack, applying pressure, blowing away everything around.
6 months ago, before losing contact with King I thought you had died.
If I wasn't aware, many women would want to follow me to the other world, so wanting to die wouldn't be simple.
HMPH, I thought only your face didn't change, but your constant nonsense mouth is no different.
A moment later, the two went to another location to talk.
How did you know I was here? Did you hear Guaxam mention information about you and Namhyang?
Did you come to her place as well? Yes, I also wanted to be a protector for Namhyang's place. You bastard. You caused this trouble, so how dare you come to find her? Whacked as a bodyguard. Are you insane? Calm down, everything happened long ago.
I'm not forcing you, it's just a mutually beneficial relationship.
Let it out, surely she has some reason to agree with you.
Damn you, this person really has no shame.
Anyway, she's not a good person.
Don't tell me that you came to Ju-on to meet me, Yun-won replied. No way.
Then Jang-un took an item out from his pockets deep in thought.
I've
Retired.
Retired.
exactly retired.
Ha ha ha, this joke, or is it true?
Yun-won, the strongest in the world, is retiring and not fighting anymore.
Jang-un continued, I didn't expect you to believe me. Is that so?
I'm looking for two things. First, the young lady named Cheung Soa, and second, the identities of those pursuing her.
Jang Soa.
How come the strongest person in the world, Yung Wong, is looking for a child?
He made a thoughtful expression. Yun-won recalled the previous scene.
Half a year ago in King-Ite, Jang-un, a comrade of mine, had sacrificed himself.
That young lady is his daughter.
He asked me to pass on his farewell message and, if possible, to take care of her.
That was his final message and also my last mission.
Hearing this, he looked puzzled.
Finding that young lady is acceptable, but who would be pursuing her?
He continued.
Yung Wong interrupted. They are not ordinary people to the extent they can use this.
Looking at the object that Yun-won just held out, his expression turned to astonishment, and he shouted loudly,
Is this a Feng Hun jar?
You crazy bastard, where did you get this from? From that attack on me. The attackers impersonated Soa to deceive me.
They are very cold-blooded. But I don't know why they are trying to find Soa by any means.
I have to find the young lady before them to be able to do so.
I must know who they are. If they can use Fen Hun Jar and are masters, they definitely cannot be ordinary people.
Even if they die, I'm not too worried, but according to my assessment,
maybe this matter isn't that simple.
If the person has truly retired, it's best not to worry. Your words are correct, but from my memory,
you once again recalled the previous scene. Please, I need the help of someone in Loyang.
You're the only one who can investigate for me. Only because I want to find the children of my fallen comrade that I came to ask for your help.
I didn't expect to meet like this after living so long.
Consider that I have repaid
My debt to you from 8 years ago in the Zirtai Association.
All right, I'll help.
I have sensed that you are trustworthy. He extended his hand and continued, Of course, I didn't say to do it for free.
Hand over the money.
Yun-won replied, I've already repaid the favor, yet you still want money.
That's impossible.
He replied, If not for the reason of obligation, I wouldn't be involved in this. Obligation is the precept of money. All right, anyway, I had anticipated this.
The money from Nampiang has already been paid, so is this reasonable now?
You truly are extraordinary.
Even advanced salary issues can be handled.
No need to worry, the money you put in is also deserved.
Hearing that, you raised your sword respectfully, bowing deeply.
All right, I will wait for good news from you then.
At Suhan Pavilion, Madame Lu's room. So what exactly is that matter?
3 days ago, a murder occurred.
At a brothel called Song-ok Pavilion, Yang Ju-gon, the son of a high-ranking official in Loyang, along with the courtesan He Bong, were killed. The suspect was detained at the scene.
His name is Prince Yu Jeon-myo. He was standing holding a sword with blood on the blade. It's still him. He has no memories at all.
The child was arrested because he was suspected to be the culprit.
His name is Myung-ah.
He is the son of my youngest sister, who passed away 3 years ago.
To me and Yu Seol, that sister's child is no different from my own nephew. Yu Seol
and I both know that Myung-ah is not a child capable of killing.
Please help me find the truth about the case and the real culprit.
I believe you can do it.
At Hyeon-jiun,
Yun-won asked, You must have received orders from Madame Lu, right?
He is a bodyguard tasked with investigating this case.
The person in front replied,
Yes, understood.
Please try to investigate this as quickly as possible.
This case is causing great discomfort to the superiors.
Yun-won replied, Don't worry. With that, you gradually approach the dead bodies. I will complete it immediately.
He thought, Good heavens, he dares to touch and examine the bodies without hesitation.
Are all mercenaries behaving like this?
At this moment, his eyes glanced around,
and suddenly stopped
when looking down at the corpse's hand.
After examining the corpse, the next step was when the butler interrupted, What?
You also intend to examine the female corpse?
What are you saying that's funny?
How can you only examine one person
when there are 2 dead? I understand, but...
Yun-won thought, indeed, those who only conduct formal examinations, so no one trusts the investigation work of the police. Oh, what is this?
At the same time, 2 guards walked in shouting loudly, Who dares to touch these bodies without permission? The butler next to him hurriedly explained, Oh, your servant really doesn't know anything.
Who dares to do this without the permission of the police?
Avoiding the attack,
Yun-won quickly clenched his hand onto his, and Ju unclenched his fist,
let out a loud scream.
A moment later, the 2 officers were thrown away. Facing this, the old man, sweating, asked again, What is this?
Yun-won replied, Why?
He quickly turned back to look at him, pointing directly and shouting loudly, "You
Dare to beat up police officers."
not a bit frightened."
Jang Un took steps towards him with a fierce gaze.
He once thought that he must be Poduyuk-gi.
What are you all waiting for? Arrest him immediately.
In response to his words,
They groaned on the ground.
"Your Excellency, pardon me. I didn't know you were an official.
I'm Yun Won, the bodyguard of Madame Lu Su Heng Pavilion.
Why, Madam Su Him Pavilion? Why are you the bodyguard of Nam Heng?
But I have never seen your face before.
Yun Won replied, I have recently become Madame Lu's bodyguard. Not long ago, Madame Lu sent your greetings to you.
Oh, I see, he said.
Yun Won thought to himself, he must be very confused now.
If he doesn't treat me carefully, he will displease Enhan Huan.
The monthly tributes will have problems as it is.
I'm using the authority of Namhang. Yun Won continued. Madame Lu has ordered me to request an investigation into this murder case.
He ordered me to investigate the case.
To serve the mandate, I must conduct an autopsy before it is disassembled.
He asked again, there is a procedure.
Yun Won interrupted, are you sure?
If the autopsy process is delayed and affects the investigation, Madame Lu will not be pleased. Confused for a moment, he continued, whatever you want to do, do it. Thank you.
After a while, the group arrived at the crime scene area.
Slowly, he drew out a weapon that had been hidden beforehand.
Weak-minded person shouldn't watch. I request permission to begin the autopsy.
As soon as he finished speaking, Yun Won began to unsheath his sword, and unexpectedly, he froze on the spot, but the corners of his mouth were still smiling. Oh my, what's this? Suyang Pavilion.
Namhang has already been convicted. I didn't know.
It's okay because I didn't inform you in advance.
You Master Yu Jeongmyeon is also no different from your own child.
It's not that I don't trust the court's investigation, but I believe we all want this matter resolved quickly. Changing her expression, the woman continued, Yun Won is exceptionally talented. He will ensure that the investigation process is swift and efficient, so I hope you will cooperate.
Looking at the bag being taken out, he was delighted and beaming.
Yes, I understand. I will cooperate to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Waiting for his figure to gradually leave, the woman pouted, looking very tired. In the next moment, she extended her hand behind her, saying, Here. Hearing this sound, it echoed with each step as she walked out. What is this?
Madame Lu, are you planning to reward this capable bodyguard?
Facing Yun Won's remark, her face flushed crimson. Didn't I tell you not to cause trouble?
Oh dear.
How long have you been a bodyguard?
Not long after you already caused trouble attacking an official.
Have you gone mad?
Fortunately, the person is someone like Poduyuk-gi, the official's name. You didn't even get to open your mouth before being thrown into prison.
Beside him, Yun Won scolded further, but they caused trouble first.
These don't behave like before. I still have to maintain the prestige of Madame Lu, the top of the brothel district. So what does the autopsy reveal? Of course there are findings, but I need to investigate further, so I can't be sure about anything yet.
Namhang continued, aren't you deliberately trying to make me curious?
Anyway, let's proceed.
Yonor always goes, Yun Won continued. It's not a matter of your master listening to such things later.
The woman asked again, is there any way to get in? Yun Won responded to Madame Lu as a member of the Loyang Association. It should not be too difficult.
Good, then proceed there immediately.
Don't worry, it won't take long.
A young lady named OK Sion from Song OK Pavilion has arrived following Madame Lu's order.
This woman is OK Sion.
Yun Won thought to himself, this is Wu Changyon's wife Madame Lu from Song OK Pavilion. Not much expectation from a mediocre person, but this woman is indeed very beautiful.
Especially that figure.
The woman continued, the young lady received a letter from Namhang's aunt, but there's still something to investigate. Yun Won replied, oh yes. Because this case is directly related to Madame Lu, I think she wants to do as much as possible. The woman responded, the young lady understands, but the crime scene has just been refurbished. From the interior to the wallpaper, everything has been replaced. The discarded items are all in the kiln, but since it's not yet the day of burning, they are probably still intact. Yun Won thought to himself, the way she walks looks familiar. Excuse me, is there a problem? HI letter 1 EBFU HI letter 1 EC7P. She forced a gentle smile. Yun Won, confused, replied, oh no, nothing. It's just that I can't take my eyes off OK Sion, my lady.
Ha ha, thank you, she said.
First, I want to inspect the master's room and the concubines, then talk to some of the concubines and their servants. Hearing this, the woman's figure gradually left, and did not forget to leave a sharp look.
Afterwards, the two arrived at another location.
And Yun Won began to search for items
and interrogate the concubines. Upon hearing these things, they immediately explained, and his gaze became thoughtful after hearing these things. This is He Bong's room where she stayed. As for over there, the woman replied, it's the emergency exit door. With that, his body gradually started to move,
and approached the open door to inspect outside.
He pondered,
there must be a reason she chose such an isolated room.
I thought it was a In the next moment, Yun-Won closed his eyes tightly
and began to separate the replica of the body from the person, taking steps to climb the stairs to inspect everything around. First, this area is away from the main staircase, meaning she must have noticed an approaching person from that direction early on. Unexpectedly, a fragment of the broken glass and a figure simultaneously holding a sword rushed inside. Thus she could buy time to prepare for a counterattack. After repelling the surprise attack, she could escape through the emergency door and the window.
I have figured out everything I need.
There's one more thing to confirm. Not far from there,
The silhouette of another woman was watching Yun-Won's figure at the prison.
meanwhile, the figure of a man was looking dejected. He happened to hear the sound and looked up.
That's so unfortunate, isn't it?
Young Master Yu.
He hurriedly sat up, confused,
And asked, "Who are you?"
Did a die send you to me?
How can you call me?
One bodyguard, please help.
I know I've caused trouble and made a die upset, but I swear I can't even kill a bug.
It's okay.
Upon hearing these words, Yun-Won's gaze quickly changed, and a green light emanated from him.
I believe in the young master's innocence. From my memories, I possess an extraordinary ability.
Doing business here without paying taxes, how can I not spare your life?
The ability to identify murderers. What's happening here?
Who are you? So in my thoughts,
The identity of the murderer has been clarified.
from afar in the crowd,
A bright red light emanated from the old man's body.
Facing the young man who was rushing toward him.
He only used the handle of his sword to strike his stomach hard. Next, another guy also rushed up at the same time.
and just as they swung their swords down,
The bodies fell face first onto the floor. The old man, confused, responded with thanks. Thank you, noble person, for your help.
You think that disguises can fool me? The traitor of GU's secret spirits will not escape punishment. You will die.
Upon finishing his words, Yun-Won took out his sword and struck the old man.
This ability is extremely necessary for my job. That is why I can confidently confirm that young Master Yu is not the murderer.
Stop thinking. Yun-Won continued, "That's enough now."
He was confused and asked again, what?
Is that all?
Yun-Won continued, don't worry, you will receive good news as soon as possible.
Behind him, someone couldn't contain their excitement and shouted loudly, "What are you going to say?"
How can you close the case with just such a question?
Please investigate more thoroughly, bodyguard.
He secretly thought that the necessary information had been fully conveyed. The screen changes to another place.
The investigation is complete, right?
Just because I am very skilled, you understand, this case is not difficult at all.
so according to you, Jeong-Myung is the real culprit.
Lower your arrogance.
Yun-Won replied, "No, young Master Yu is completely innocent and not the perpetrator."
That's too lenient.
If so, he would be released immediately, right? Once he's proven innocent, he will be released starting tomorrow. Nothing too troublesome.
Thank you so much. If it weren't for your help.
She flinched as if realizing something.
She shyly turned her face away in another direction. Thank you very much for your efforts, bodyguard.
Yun-Won continued, no problem. But we cannot afford to be careless, not even for a minute.
This is not just a murder case, it's also a fierce power struggle among the martial arts sects.
Namhyang, confused, asked again, "What do you mean? Yang Jugun is just a playboy. Why is he related to the martial arts world?"
Sorry, it's exactly like that.
Both Yang Jugun and young Master Yu are unlucky to have been involved in this.
The girl asked again, what? You mean He Bong, the courtesan, is the target?
Yun-Won replied accurately, she is not just an ordinary courtesan.
He Bong is actually a spy for the Wulin Ming. She has a close relationship with the Fanling Bo, acting secretly.
I noticed the signs of the Toyingok thief and the Tanzu clan on Hebong.
Her two unique techniques from the Fangling clan's defense are designed to effectively counter attacks and escape a typical setup for a spy.
Why would a Wulin Ming spy choose to hide in a normal academy like Sonoke Pavilion?
How could I guess who could grasp the Wulin Ming's plan?
Today is enough. I will present my testimony at Loyang District later.
Next to her, Namhyang, confused, asked again, what? You can't stop.
Tell me the truth about this case. Who really caused this?
Don't you already know that? Yes, I know. But because of the involvement of Wulin Ming, this cannot be resolved quickly. If I reveal the truth, and the perpetrator, Suzheng Pavilion, will face unforeseen dangers.
Are you sure there will be no danger?
On hearing that, Namhyang's gaze froze in place.
I'm just an underling.
If you want, I will continue.
All right, I got it. That's correct.
In life, there are things you shouldn't know. It's better not to.
Understanding too much can sometimes put yourself in danger. Don't worry, tomorrow I will bring all the information you need.
Going to another room,
Yun-Won's eyes gradually changed, and his hands gradually reached for the sword.
night fog
Covered every corner.
The wind outside would harm the smooth skin of the lady.
He quickly went inside, with the door being normal.
Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind blew straight outside.
It quickly approached where Yun-Won was standing.
Facing this, he only used his sword to
Successfully block it.
At this moment, a voice from inside spoke out, "Your ability is still as wonderful as ever."
This made me very excited. In the next moment, the ghostly figure appeared. Yun-Won thought to himself, dark cloud body technique to block the attacks. Yun-Won consecutively launched attacks, making her body try to defend. After a while of attacking,
The girl unexpectedly brought her sword behind.
A swing towards him.
After Young Won was distracted,
The girl suddenly rushed and embraced Young Wong's body.
directly pulling him down and pressing him onto the bed.
upon meeting for the first time, I wonder who you are. What happened to you? Your strong demeanor is gone now.
Yun Wong replied, yes, that's right.
During the day, I hardly recognize you.
The girl continued, it's been 4 years, hasn't it? I always remember you.
Yun Wong interrupted. Me too, Seol ran.